official. I'm sure the good congressman has good intentions for that. Kaya mukhang magiging unconstitutional.
Si Congressman Paulo Duterte po ay nag-file ng bill para po sa mandatory random drug testing every 6 months for all elected and appointed government officials. Tapos meron din pong provision doon for voluntary drug testing for everyone running in elections. Ano pong masasabi niyo doon? Maybe we can start with Kong Migs as Vice Chair po of the Civil Service and Professional Regulation Committee.
Parang wala akong choice. Ako talagang inuna mo, Tina, ha?
Yes po, ma'am.
Well, with any legislator naman, they're welcome to file bills, right, that they deem fit. But as a legislator, I hope lahat naman tayo, as legislators kami dito, alam naman namin yung mga rules na we file, not just to file, but the intent is good, and I hope the intent for this is good. There is a Supreme Court case already that deemed unconstitutional a mandatory mandatory drug testing if it's going to be deemed included as one of the qualifications for a candidate kasi yung constitution naman naglalagay nun. But sana po, no, madepensahan niya to and maganda po yung intent niya, and to defend this, you have to be able to attend the committee hearing and not pass it on to someone else. So, if this is his bill, we respect it. It will go through the process. Sana lang na mapakita niya bakit niya ginagawa to, and it's not for any vindication of anything. It's not to single out someone because that will be unconstitutional. And sana this applies also sa local government units because as our friends in media know, even in Davao City, meron mga 37, I think, that tested positive sa drug test, random drug test sa isang department. So, sana this applies to all, hindi lang mag-single out.
Ma'am, sorry po. Idagdag ko lang po na specified kasi doon sa bill na including the president.
So, I hope including din lahat ng mga local government at lahat. Again, kung gusto niya ganito yung bill, he has every prerogative to write a bill, pass a bill, file a bill, and go through the committee, and if he deems that fit na tama yung wordings at madedepensa niya yun, sana lang po madepensa niya yun in the committee, in the floor, in front of everyone, and not pass it on to another congressman dahil bill niya po to. So, you know, we will follow the process. We respect his knowledge and his intent on this. Sana lang the intent is good para sa kabutihan ng taong bayan, because we are legislators to file bills for the betterment of the Filipino people at hindi para mang-asar or mang-single out or use your position to do things na may personal aspect po. So, yun. Sana po, madepensa niya at magpakita po siya dito sa Kongreso. Yun lang po.
To quickly just add on, I guess tayo naman dito, no, our friends in the media and us also working in politics are aware of the noises around. And to specifically, just to answer also directly what Tina said, to include specifically a position might also infer that they might be, you know, as much as I hate to say it, sana naman walang personal agenda, no, yung mga fina-file natin ng mga bills. In fact, what we do here in the House is we always look at the Filipino people. No? If the intent is for the Filipino people, we welcome them to file any kind of bill. And of course, it will go through the processes of, you know, committee hearings, public hearings, and we will go through the process so that we can also make the best version out of the bills that are being filed. Pero yun nga, we hope na lang to see that there should be less amounts of personal agendas in the filing of bills and more towards the vision of a better country, a better place for the Filipino people. And also, just to protect then everyone. No? So again, we would call on the wisdom of, we've had already, as what Congresswoman Miggs mentioned, there's also a Supreme Court case na rin, and it was also deemed unconstitutional. There were bills filed previously in the previous Congresses also targeting or at least, including local government officials that didn't really go through because of the Supreme Court case. So again, we would leave this to the wisdom of all the agencies, players involved, but we can get also at least a clearer picture on how this should go. So ayun na.
I guess na sabi naman po lahat, but just a quick comment on my part. On its face, mukhang maganda naman po yung batas. We haven't had the time yet to read specifically kung ano po yung nandun. But I think that's the challenge po talaga sa mga nag-aaral po ng batas. Alam po natin na, yun nga, nabanggit ni Congresswoman Nograles na meron pong Supreme Court case already that tackled this, and actually it was deemed unconstitutional to include drug test as a mandatory step or as qualification of candidates. So we would be very much interested po siguro to see ano pa talaga yung laman ng batas na ito. In what words was it couched? Would it be able to pass that constitutional barrier from previous iterations? And I think yun po yung talagang mahirap po dito. Madali lang po mag-file ng panukalang batas, madali maglagay ng magandang explanatory note na clickbait or catchy. Pero it really comes down to the quality of the legislation. And I think we're excited, hopefully, to see our esteemed colleague na mag-attend po sa hearings and defend this bill. And we'd like to see his opinions po kung paano po ito magpapasa sa committee. And we're excited to tackle it naman po. Yun na po.
Again, lilinawin namin, no? Para sa amin dito, maganda yung intensyon ni Congressman Paulo Duterte. Having said that, mas excited po kami na makasama siya sa committee hearings. Pag pinatawag na to ng tamang komite, excited po kaming makasama siya. Maging malinaw po tayo doon. Maraming salamat po.
Sa amin lang, on the timing, it's within his right to file, anyone's right to file with, regardless of what had happened externally. Kasi every congressman, as part of their job, is really supposed to be filing bills that they think would be good for their constituents or the country. So, wag natin lagyan po siguro ng connection ang mga bagay-bagay. That's an unfair insinuation. And let's listen to the committee in any committee hearing for any congressman. If you are the author of a bill, you really do have to show up and defend your bill and explain why you want that bill to pass to the committee, for the committee members to pass it, and then later on in plenary for the majority, at least majority of the House members to support your bill. So, kailangan talagang pumunta doon at i-depensa ang bill to the best way that a legislator can. Siguro yun lang po. Kung sino nagsalita, whoever talks, tingnan nyo muna kung credible ang nagsasalita. Look at the background. If credible ang mga sinasabi ng isang tao. But also, your questions are unfair to say ang timing. Kung totoong magaling kang legislator, alam mo yung trabaho mo, you will not file a bill and waste the resources of Congress and time to go after one person for personal reasons. Huwag ka na lang siguro mag-congressman kung yan lang po yung gagawin nyo. Kasi hindi yan ang trabaho ng isang congressman. So, with the timing and all, we cannot speak for him why he filed that. And I'm sure the good congressman has good intentions for that, regardless of the timing. Sana lang po, no? Tingnan natin sa committee, tingnan natin how he will defend it, and make sure this is not going to be unconstitutional, and this applies to everyone. All officials, all candidates, all local government, lahat. Hindi lang isang tao. Kasi kung isang tao lang naman yung gusto mo, you don't need to file a bill siguro. Don't waste the resources of Congress and our time. I hope that answers your question.
Kasi once napapatulan natin to, dadami din yan eh. Di ba? So, ayun lang, iwas lang tayo sa ganun ng mga klase. And let's focus on what is important.
I think it would be unfair to insinuate any other intention sa timing po ni Congressman Pulong. As I mentioned, on the face of the bill, on the explanatory note, wala naman pong siyang masamang nasabi. And for all you know, the timing might be related to the finding of 37 positive drug cases in the City Hall of Davao. To recall, this happened sometime in May 2024, recess po yan, and we recently just resumed Congress. So baka yun po yung timing na sinasabi. Maybe he sees a drug problem in Davao that has to be remedied and he wants to replicate it nationwide. So I don't know if it would be correct, and I don't think it would be fair to intimate or to suggest na the timing is related to yung vlogger pasabog, as you mentioned po. But with that said,
Looking into it sa committee, if really there are grounds na hindi siya magiging unconstitutional, it is equally applied to everyone, especially also the LGUs. Babalik ko nga, kasi alarming nga yung nangyari sa Davao that even part ng City Hall, 37 tested positive. So dapat may ganun din for not just Davao, all other local governments, all officials involved, government. Kasi the Filipinos deserve nga leaders, especially those working in the government, who are not doing illegal drugs, right? So I will support it after the committee hearing, and if it will really be fair and hindi siya mukhang magiging unconstitutional. Because it is a good thing to make sure that our officials know how to lead properly of sound mind.